Race Tech rant coming up. Like, I asked for questions on Instagram as well for us. So, hey, let's talk about this real quick, Michael, before we go to commercial. Brandon Zimmerman, let go at KTM.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like, not Chase's decision. Had the malfunction in Nashville. It wasn't, from what I know, from what I talked to, it wasn't his fault. It doesn't look good, though. It doesn't look good that bike has an issue, they fire Zim, and, you know, and then they don't really tell you anything else. They don't put out a press release or anything.
Yeah.
And so people are actually jumping to when Chase talked to him in Nashville, you know, oh, you're fired, or like, who, like, yeah. It just, what do you know from your side of things?
I didn't hear anything about it till Thursday before the race. And honestly, I hadn't, you know how that's a tight-knit group, like your Carlos, Frankie, Jade, like that's a really good group to be around, in my opinion, or tent, like serious but keeps it light. But when I've been around there, sure, I don't know if it's a difference in work culture, just what they're used to. I don't want to say I didn't feel like Zim didn't fit in, but I just never maybe noticed the same camaraderie, so maybe it wasn't clicking. I was wondering if it was just more off the technical fault, because KTM does have a track record of, like, if a mechanic screws up, of getting out.
Yeah, Max Volan's right?
mechanic. There's some off-road ones I know of that got KO'd for some mistakes, and they're sometimes pretty immediate on it. So I had heard somebody say that maybe it was related, but then once I asked around, they're like, no, it's kind of been like, a comment I heard is it almost happened a month ago or something. There was like a sit-down talking to, just it wasn't working out.
I don't think it worked out personality-wise over there with Zim and the guys. But it wasn't, the Nashville thing was not his fault, from what I know. Yeah. And it was, I mean, I know it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
But
it's just, like I said, it's weird because of, if it were, and no offense to him, like you see Star has this very serious aura around him. So you could see how some people maybe step in there and don't work. But, like, as you know, Lars runs a good ship. They're serious but fun over there. KTM to me has similar vibe, but it's just some guys don't click in environments as others do. It just doesn't work out.
I think from people I talked to, and I got some good intel on this, it was not Chase or Kier's decision. This was nothing on them. You know, I think you'll see Chase be, you know, acknowledge this, that he's friends with Zim and it didn't work out, and like I wish him the best type of stuff. And I think Zim will land somewhere soon as well with this. But
I had a feeling, I mean, Cowie needs a guy. He has a good track record there. That was like my first obvious.
Yeah, he worked for Adam Cianciarillo for a long time.
So. Adam at PC, but then he was in-house at Cowie before he went to Honda.
He was?
Yeah, he left AC still on 250s.
Yeah.
I believe right towards the end of his 250 career. I think he went in-house at Cowie for 2 years before he got pulled back into race duty with Chase. He wasn't in race duty at that time.
Okay.
So like also, good track record.
Yeah, there. And so it didn't work out, but it was KTM who made this decision. And, you know, I know people want the drama and everything else. I just don't think he was fitting in at the workplace. I mean, kinda, you know.
And I feel bad because I feel like, okay, the weekend before, by example, KTM came out, was pretty, whether you want to say aggressive or very forefront with that PR.
They were very aggressive, yes.
Yeah, okay, here's what happened with the bike. Like, it's a rocket, you know, it's a rock issue. So it is kind of weird then to follow it up that the Zim thing's quiet because it leads to too much speculation. And I feel bad because, like, we all had to post about it. It's like, hey, he's out. It's kind of odd. And I got a few messages from people that were like, oh, nice way to speculate. There's nothing to speculate. We're sitting, and I emailed KTM PR like, hey, can I get a comment? Why? Like, do you have a reason? Nothing. Crickets.
Someone I talked to close to the Sexton side of things was like, you know, it makes Chase look bad because it's like, fuck you, my bike screwed up, you're fired. Yeah. If they were going to let him go, they should have maybe waited until the end of Supercross and just said, hey, we're making a change for the outdoors. It didn't work out.
That did strike me as like, weird, even if it is a personality thing and if Chase is really pro him. I mean, it definitely shows, not the battle's going, it definitely must have been boiling up for a while if you wouldn't do three more races.
But exactly. And I think KTM, like, they're hanging Chase out to dry a bit because bike malfunctioned, mechanic got fired. Well, who you know, Chase is the one who said, this guy's got to go. That's not the truth. But then when KTM refuses to say anything, everyone's left to speculate. So.
Who was the last rider that was championship caliber that brought a mechanic to a team with him that the mechanic got KO'd? The last one I can think of is Villa when he brought Throttle to Cowie. That didn't last. That didn't last the first full year, did it?
No, it didn't go through Supercross.
Didn't even finish Supercross before they signed Williams into him. That's. And maybe my track record isn't far enough back on my mechanics. That's kind of the only other one I can reference where, because usually it's like, okay, big name rider that has the power brings the guy with him. Yeah, people don't always get along, but it sort of works out.
Yep.
I guess you just don't think about it happening.
Yeah. No, exactly. I think you're right. Throttle was the last guy, and it's funny. I had a big name rider that's retired now bring that up to me this weekend and say, "Yeah, Williamson, Throttle, same thing." And I was like, "Yep." Like, kind of funny how that works. So yeah, I wish Zim the best. He's a good dude. I don't know him that well, but I like them, and I'm sure he'll land on his feet here soon. So Kyle Defoe is a good dude.
Kyle's
also
super good.
Now,
I was going to say,
was he at Moto Concepts ever or no?
No, he was. Dude, I've known him for a long time. So he was long back. I can remember is he got kind of his main start with Michael Lieb.
Oh, okay.
When Rocket Exhaust had engines in house, he was building Michael's bikes. They were trying to do engine packages.
Okay.
Then he went to Rock River and he was mechanic for Tommy Hahn, but he was also servicing all the engines for the team. Dude, he's a gnarly hard worker. Kyle at Rock River was the mechanic for Tommy and servicing all the engines for the team on the rig.
Yeah.
He got pulled into PC when they brought on Cameron, and we all know Cameron rides a lot and is hard on stuff.
Yeah.
Like Kyle's a grinder. Now, one other thing I wanted to say, just from my knowledge of this, because I also saw some people label, KTM's in, because Chase, whether you want to label suspension stuff or stuff, I've seen people speculate, KTM wanted one of their guys in there. They probably some politics, blah, 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 because Kyle's been there a little bit longer.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, and this is Kyle telling me also, Kyle doesn't want to be on race duty right now. He just had a kid. I know he was very happy to just do the opening rounds with Jorge and be on kind of testing / relief duty for the rest of the year. He wasn't clawing for a race spot from when I talked to him. He was very much like, hey, I'm good with my schedule this year.
Yeah, someone told me he didn't know he was working for Chase until he got the plane ticket. The plane ticket showed up in his email. Hey, by the way, you're working for Chase. He's like, oh, okay. So, yeah, interesting. But, all right, well, yeah, again, I think I want to just Chase and Kier are fine with Zim. That was not the issue. It was Zim fitting in with the team, and I offered Zim a chance to come in tonight, and he's just like, I don't want to, and I didn't expect him to, but I said, hey, if you do want to talk about it, you have an open forum, and he's like, no, he's good. So and that's fine. I get it. I've been there as a mechanic too. So all right, maybe we'll touch a little bit more on that when we come back. But Justin Rodbell, Mitch Payton, calling in still. We got a lot more coming up. We got your Instagram questions. I want to talk to Michael Lindsay about some of the Phoenix Honda stuff that I know he knows about.